Welcome back, everybody, to the first NBA episode of the regular season. Uh, it's officially underway now, and it's been a good little time. I mean, basketball season's it's my favorite season. Just just an NBA guy, just from the out the womb. Always been a big basketball guy. Was never really that good at it though. It's kind of unfortunate, but
Shooter though, for real shooter.
facts. That's it though. So I'm just 6 foot, 6 foot kid from Austin. Not really too much going from there. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Austin basketball. We're here to talk about NBA basketball, and we're about as of recording, we're it's like 8 games in. I think every team's played about the max is like 8, but some teams have played less, but around like 6 to 8 games. And there's been some surprises, I guess. Not really surprises, but just teams that people kind of counted out. And I guess we're here to talk about them. And there's teams that are good as well that everybody thought would be good. Uh, the team that sticks out to me the most is probably, I'm going to go probably the Warriors in terms of just being, I don't know. I mean, they look extremely good right now. I mean, as of right now, they're 6-1. And their average win, they're winning by 10 points a game on average through 7 games. And I don't know, they just have 12 guys that go out there and shoot the ball at about 40%. Hard to beat a team like that. And you have guys like Draymond and like Kevin Looney that are just good defensive anchors in the paint. It's just hard to beat. And right now they look like a pretty solid team. I don't know if I doubt it'll stick for very long. A lot of young guys, a lot of guys that are streaky. They'll end up losing some games, like to some bad teams down the stretch because it's just shooting can only is only consistent for so long. You're gonna have off nights if you rely on that solely. It'll come back and bite you eventually, but it hasn't yet. It's just fun. It's a fun team to watch. One of the more fun teams to watch right now. Obviously Curry, too, but you guys got like Jordan Poole's going crazy right now. Like Damian Lee's playing well. Draymond's playing well. It's a lot of guys like that. Gary Payton the second, basically his dad out there playing defense. I mean, he had I think like 6 steals or something last night against the Hornets. Played very well, and I don't know, fun team to watch. Yeah, what's you got anything? You got like a team that's sticking out the most right now?
I'm surprised how well the Raptors are doing because I thought they were going to be terrible, and they still might be, but they're
Yeah,
sitting at like 6-3 right now, I think.
yep,
So I mean, especially given since they traded away Kyle Lowry, I thought that team was going to stay bottom feeders, but right now they're balling. Can't argue with 6-3 no matter who you play. You can only plays on the schedule. I don't know if they have any notable wins or not, but
I can look real quick on it.
Had a nice dunk last night or a couple nights ago or something.
Yeah,
Forgot that he was in that trade.
facts. They've beat the Knicks, who have been pretty good. They beat the Wizards, the Knicks, the Pacers twice. LOL. The Magic and the Celtics. So it's not terrible. They got a couple decent wins. So I mean, I watched them play against Indiana, and Indiana they won by 3. They were I don't know. Their team's just really weird. Scotty Barnes is really good.
Mhm.
They got a good steal for him. He's averaging about 20 right now. He's just a he's just a big body. He's strong. He's like I don't know. He's just really he's elegant, but he's strong in a way. Like he's just really just elegant in the paint. Just knows how to finish really well around the rim, and he just plays good finesse. There it is. That's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, and he plays really solid defense as well. They got a good pick there. That's Scotty Barnes. I mean, Van Vliet's doing his thing too. He's playing well. And another thing, their main guy's been OG Anunoby. I said it at the start of the year. He was one of my sleeper guys, and he's been playing phenomenal. I mean, just a good 2-way guy. He's always had good defense. That was his main main thing coming out of Indiana. And but his offense has just flourished the past like 2 years. Got a good 3 pointer going now. Just really, again, like he's kind of like Scotty Barnes. He's just really elegant and just has a lot of finesse around the rim. But he's just strong too, and he's getting his handle down. Just he's a sneaky little player. But I don't know. I don't think it'll hold up. I think their roster just got too many holes in it right now. There's just a
I
lot of
think
guys.
I think
You
they got a lot of quality like bench guy. They need a star. I feel like. I feel
yeah.
like they need a
Again, like
star.
Siakam's hurt right now as well. He hasn't played yet. I would still wouldn't
He
say
had,
he's like a
he
star.
had a down year last year, didn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's like a star, but he's like a
Yeah.
top 35-ish player. He's better than anything they have right now, so he'll help. Uh, that's about it. Because again, like they lost like Lowry, who was their other guy, that was like pretty good. But yeah, their team's just really weird. They're just really scrappy. Got a lot of guys that got a lot of wing players. They had a lot of wing players,
Yeah.
and it helps. And it's modern basketball. So, uh, however, the two teams that are kind of the hottest right now are Chicago and Miami. Uh, those two, I definitely saw like that Miami was going to be pretty solid. I mean they have the same team again, a lot of young talent, a lot of defensive talent, and Tyler Heroes played really well. He needed it. He's getting a lot of media hate the past year or so. I mean, it was rightfully so. I mean, it wasn't rightfully so. I mean, hate's not really, but he was kind of overhyped, like because I mean the whole song came out. Yeah, you know how it is sometimes. But uh, people just thought he was like kind of better than what he was. He was a solid player last year. He averaged about like 12 or 13, but he's averaging like 20 or so this year. So he's playing well. And then again, like Bam's playing well. Obviously, Jimmy Butler's playing phenomenal so far. And they just have a lot of role guys like Duncan Robinson's played well. They have Lowry now, big big piece there, and they just got a
PJ
lot of
Tucker.
PJ Tucker. Yeah, I get a lot
Yep.
of guys like that. Just a lot of deep. There's so much defense on that team. It's crazy. I get a lot of defense on that team, and hard to score on them. They do. They have struggled on offense sometimes. They did tonight. Actually, they played the Celtics and scored like 70 points or something in the game. So that's kind of their weakness is just like consistent offense. But they are also they're giving up the lowest points per game in the league. They're only one of two teams in the league to give up less that are averaging less than 100 given up right now. Them and the Nuggets actually are the only two teams that are doing so thus far. And I don't know, it's just hard to score on them. I don't know, it's crazy. I mean I the question at hand is just like, do you think they're gonna like are they legit or do you think this is like sustainable? I think it is right now. Like the way it looks, I think it is. I mean, defense is like the really one of the only sustainable things in basketball. If you have defense, I mean that's just always a crutch for everything else. Good defense creates offense at the end of the day, and I don't know, and they have a lot of it. So, and they have some
Defense,
guys that can score as well.
defense travels. Defense wins championships.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. And then going, I guess, moving on to the Bulls. The Bulls are 6-2 as of now. They've looked really good, man. I mean, they're so fun to watch. A lot of guys that are just high octane, like Lonzo, Zach LaVine, DeRozan, Caruso. To be honest, a lot of these guys just energy players, just kind of scrappy, high flying, flashy. And then you have the guys like Vucevic, who's kind of more down to earth, but he's just fundamental, can shoot when he's open, post player, just really good rebounder. However, that's about it. Once you get past those guys I just said, it goes off a cliff fast. It goes off a cliff fast. And one of their other guys that helped was Patrick Williams. He was having a pretty good year so far. He was starting for them, and he is out for the season now, unfortunately. So they're gonna have to call on another guy on the bench to step up, which is not the best in their case because their bench is pretty bad. It's not pretty bad; it is bad, and I don't think it's nearly as sustainable as Miami, just because they're just not nearly as deep. But they do have a lot of offense, and that's going to win them a lot of games. They're going to beat they're going to beat the bad teams almost every time, which helps a lot. That's kind of like the case with the Knicks. The Knicks, what about the Nets and the Lakers? They're kind of the same way. They're just going to overpower teams. Like you don't really need defense in a lot of games. Like when you play like the Pistons and the Magic and teams like that, you don't need defense. They're not going to score anyway. So if you just go out there and score points, like you're going to win, and that's going to help them in the East a lot
Mhm.
when you play teams like the Cavs, who's been playing well, but like they're not gonna. That's another team that's not gonna stay. Like you got teams like Washington and Cleveland and Orlando, who you're gonna play at least 4 times a year. Like you play those teams at least 4 times in the year, and they're gonna beat them every time if they're all healthy. But it's just gonna be hard to play teams like the Heat or like the Sixers or like the Nets, people that have deep teams. Because once you go to your bench, you're just overpowered in every aspect. So I don't know. I can see them probably being like ceilings probably like 3 seed, and their floor is probably I don't see them being lower than like they're gonna be like playoff no matter what. They're probably gonna be a top 8 seed, but I could see them being an 8 seed though. At the end of the day, it's probably just 3 to 8. It's a big
Yeah.
margin, but it's not like they're gonna. I don't see a world where if they stay healthy, where they don't make the play the playoffs just because of the talent they have right now and how they're playing. But I mean, things can change. But as of right now, they look really good.
Mhm. I think that due to their lack of depth, like that's going to hurt them a lot come playoff time because that's when you notice things like your defense and your bench. Like that's when those things come to play. That's why I think Miami could go on another run like they did in the bubble, possibly even come out with a better outcome. But whenever you start getting 6, 7, 8 guys on the on the Bulls team roster, and then you start looking at their bench guys, it's like you don't even know who these people are. Some of them, like even I'm not as big of an NBA guy as you are, but I know most players, and I didn't know some of these guys, and I don't. You might know them all, but
I didn't know some of them to be
yeah.
honest.
So that they're a team that you said they'll beat the bad teams, and they just won't beat them. Like they'll embarrass them. They'll have Lonzo throwing 3/4 court lobs to Zach Levine and DeMar DeRozan
I
putting
mean, they
his
have. I mean, they played the Pistons twice, and I think they beat them by like 75 both times. So
yeah. Like, but whenever it comes to a 7-game series against other teams that are good, teams that can score, that's when I think the you know strength will come out on them. But I think I don't see a world where they have to play a playing game, honestly,
uh,
unless barring injuries. I see them being 3 to 6. I just think that team has too much talent, like at least on the you know top of the roster. They're very top heavy, but I think it's got enough talent, especially in the East, to carry them at
yeah,
least.
that's the thing. A lot of people like they over like they just overshoot it. Like they put too much emphasis on it. Like they're like, oh, you need like so many guys to be good. At the end of the day, the starting five plays on average like 36 minutes a game, and there's
Mhm.
only 48. So that means all the other guys only play 12 minutes. So if you those guys play vast majority of the games, those guys that start. So I mean, yeah, it helps to have guys because you don't have to play as much. Like the guys on like the Heat only average like 30 minutes a game, the starters, because they don't have to play as much. But guys like on the Bulls or guys teams that are top heavy play more, but they're professional athletes. Like they're built to play a 36-minute basketball game, or like they're built to play 36 minutes. So they're going to be out there most of the time. So and at the end of the day, if they're out there, there's the good players, so they're gonna win. Like you don't have to have like 10 guys to go out there and win a game every night. You just don't. That's not how it works anymore. If you have 5 good guys, 5 or 6 good guys, you can go out there and beat up a team that doesn't almost every time. So it kind of gets it gets like overshot a lot. And that's like just the case of the Bulls. They have five guys, well, four, because Caruso doesn't start. But Caruso's not like good. He's only averaging like 8. He's just kind of a spark plug guy. Just he's an energy guy. But they have a good four. Like their four are like really good right now. So and that those four are better than a lot of teams' four right now. So and that's gonna help prevail them to win a lot of games this year probably.
I agree.
I mean, moving on. There's some there's been some things change in the league in terms of rules. Uh, I mean, uh, it's people are comparing it to like they're like saying it's like the 80s again or 90s again or whatever. No, that's not the case. But it's more civilized, but it's better. I feel like it's a better game
Me too.
because I mean it was getting out of hand. I mean it was only certain players uh that just exploited it. They knew exactly how to exploit it and they did it to perfection. I mean good for them. That's being smart. I mean make it's gotta smarter not harder at the end of the day. And I mean I didn't blame them at all. People were always upset when they did. I don't blame them. It's free points. So I mean good for them for exploiting it. But it was kind of annoying to watch and annoying for other players because you couldn't do anything about it. Like it was like it was like cheating pretty much in my eyes. Like they could put themselves in the position every time to get fouled or whatever it was that they were doing, and they could exploit it every time, and they couldn't not call it because that's how the rules read. But uh, now it's kind of getting it's getting not more, getting less ticky tacky in ways like they just tweaked it in specific ways to where like the shooter can't initiate contact anymore and that's goes for anything, not just shooting jump shots on like in the paint or anything. Like you can't initiate contact anymore, which was what a lot of people were doing. And you can't kick your leg out as well when you're shooting to like get your players in your landing space or wherever. You can't like extend your landing place, which is what a lot of people were doing as well. And a lot of guys just say like, oh, it was just Trey Young, or it was just James Harden, or it was just so and so. But there was a lot of other people doing it. There wasn't just these top stars that were doing it, and it's making a lot of guys look just bad in a lot of situations because they were just so reliant on those things, and they can't anymore. They can't rely on those anymore. I mean, again, I like a prime example is like James Harden. His points per game just took a big hit. Thus far, he's only averaging like I don't want to get this number wrong because it's like an important number. I can look real quick. It's not like 36 or whatever he's been averaging the past few years. Uh, Currently, it is 18. Wow, that's a lot lower than I thought it was. But I mean, he's still playing well. I mean, he's averaging like 9 assists and 7 rebounds. So it's not like again, it's not like he's playing bad, but he's not averaging like 30 points like he has been the past 7 years. So again, and that's to and those he was only scoring like that's what like I saw a big graph about it. He was only scoring around 16 or 17 points a game on field goals, like on actual shots the past 7 years. But he's been getting 11 to 15 on free throws the past 7 years. And that's a crazy number, like 11 minimum 11 points per game has been on free throws the past 6 or 7 years. And those are all getting taken away. He's only averaging, I think they said 4 free throws a game, I think, this far, which is a crazy hit. But that's why he's averaging a lot less. But I don't know. It's crazy to think that I mean he's been one of the best players in the league the past 6 years. I mean, like if not the best. I mean, he's been a top five minimum top five player in the league for the past probably at least 3 or 4 years. He's got an MVP and everything. I mean, he's averaged over 30 points. Well, MVP year averaged like 36 points a game. And I don't know. I don't see the number going up any much higher than what it is right now, the way he's playing and how like the team he's on, like how his plays because I've watched a lot of highlights in the nets just to try to just see what was happening because I just kept saying all these things about Harden, like, oh, he's washed, oh, he's gonna fall off or whatever. And I'm like, I don't believe that. Let me watch. And he's obviously not gonna fall off. Like these numbers, like 19, 7, and 9, that's probably what he's gonna average. It's not definitely not bad in any means of the way, but it's not who he is. And I would agree that that he is gonna fall off in a sense because that was such a big part of his game, like a massive part. Like that was his free throws were such a big part of his game, and there's no substitution for that. Like you either shoot free throws or you don't shoot free throws, and unless he finds another way to get those points, which he hasn't so far, he still might. But as of right now, it just doesn't seem like he's going to.
Yeah, I actually I'm on the opposite side because I think, I mean, because the way he's played this style has progressed over his years as a NBA superstar. I think because like you said, I mean, I agree with what you said in the fact like, is it does it make the game worse to watch? Yeah. Yeah. Is it kind of cheating? Yeah. But is it smart that they do that and get those free points, especially if you're a good free throw shooter? Yeah, it's super smart. I think he has the ability to score in other ways. I just think, I mean, he's been spending 7 years doing, or however long, I don't know, going more to, let me get some free throws. Let me, steal these free throws. Let me steal these free throws. I think obviously, he has the talent to score at higher level. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go back up to 30. I think it'll be mid 20s, low 20s. I mean, you know, but I think he'll figure it out and be more of an efficient scorer because, I mean, if you're playing the same way for years and like going away from a certain aspect of the game, you're not going to go back to it in 8 games, especially because we knew the rule was going to change, but we didn't know to what degree. And based off what you see on NBA Instagram, they do not call anything for James Harden. They do not call us anymore.
No, I mean they don't for anybody.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's
uh,
down every single game. I see a clip of him going, "What? What?"
that's everybody though. I mean that's the game's getting a lot more physical, which is a good thing. It was getting soft bad, and well, it wasn't really soft in the sense it was just ticky tacky, and it kind of got annoying to watch just because like it was just hard to justify what was fouls and what wasn't fouls. That's why they changed the rules because you just never like there's so many things that were just gray, like in the gray area, like it could be a foul and it could not be a foul, and now there's no gray anymore. It's like you just murder somebody or you don't touch them, like or like if you just like it's rather you like kill somebody and you get the foul or all the stuff leading up to that's not a foul. So I don't know. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, it makes the game like it makes it more clear cut, like for a viewer and like the players, like going in, like this is going to be a foul and this is not going to be a foul, and it's easier for refs to call the game as well. It was getting so hard for refs; they're getting so much flack because you just didn't know. Like it was so hard to call games just because of how many exploits there were in the rules, and it just makes things better. It's definitely a good thing in terms of just like overall just basketball like progression like because there were players like all the young players were starting to do that as well because it was just how I mean it was just the easiest thing to do and the easiest thing to exploit and it'll definitely make a lot of players better like a lot of young players better because they actually have to score in like a normal way not like flare their legs out and just try to get a foul every time but uh there's that however there's a player that did not exploit these things uh, to the degree of somebody like Harden or like Trey Young or somebody, and he kind of been playing bad, like not like terrible, but like not very good either. And that's Damian Lillard. I've seen a lot of stuff of people like on Damian Lillard's head, like he's like washed, and the Trailblazers are playing terrible right now. Like they're like three, I think they're like 3 and 6, and I've had an easy schedule too, and they're just not winning. Like they lost to the Cavs last night. Uh, it's just not a good time. I mean, and that was his team. Like he was the one winning them games since he's for like the past 5 6 years. Like he's been the one that's been winning them games, and he's just not doing that. Uh, I don't know, and he has a his social media presence is very weird in a sense that he likes to clap back a lot, like he likes to respond a lot, and it just makes him look so bad. Like it's not a good look
Right.
because he's just like salty. He comes off as very salty, and it's just not a good look because I mean, just play like that's what everybody says. Like, why are you like responding to people on Twitter? Like, just play better or like just work on your game. Like, why are you trying to like talk to somebody on Twitter? Like, get. I mean, right now he's averaging 19,
Yeah.
which is not. That's not like a superstar number
He's
there.
averaging his second lowest amount of points per game right now since his in his career.
Yeah, I think he
Only-
averaged like 19 as a rookie
Yeah.
because he won Rookie of the Year his
Yeah.
rookie year. So yeah, he
So
probably had to average around those kind of numbers. But I mean, this is year like let me look. Year he's 31. So 2012. So this is like year 10, 9, 10, whatever. And I don't know, he's just hit a wall in a sense. Like he's just not shooting well. He's taking bad shots. He's just not getting to the paint as effectively. He wasn't a guy that relied on free throws a lot either. His career free throw attempts per game was only like 6, so he wasn't a big free throw guy. So I mean, he was getting his points by just getting buckets, and he's not getting buckets right now. He's playing bad, and I don't know. I definitely don't think it's out of the realm for him to play good again. Again, he's did this for the past 6 7 years, just like in Harden's boat, where he's just been one of the best scorers in the league for a while. But I don't know. Right now, it's just not good looking good, and their team's bad. So I don't, I don't know. It's not a good scene. I think this stems back to him kind of winning out of Portland in the off season, and he kind of said something when they lost, and I don't even know if they're in the play-in or not. Whatever, wherever they were at the playoffs, they lost. They got smacked. I think they were in the actual playoffs. They got like swept, and he was just like actually upset. Like he was verbally upset that they were in the state. Like he was just getting beat out in the playoffs every year. Like not even competitively getting beat out,
yeah.
and they didn't even address it. Like Portland, the organization didn't even address it. They didn't try to trade him or talk about it or anything. They just didn't do anything.
For years they haven't done anything. Like
Yeah,
it's the old Einstein quote, like uh
it's
doing the
insane.
same thing
It's
and
insanity.
yeah, that's what I mean. What do they expect to happen? They're not making any changes. Your team's not getting better. They're not really bringing in any young talent to develop. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I don't know. And they draft poorly as well.
I
The
don't. I couldn't tell you anybody that they drafted recently that was
uh
good.
they drafted Nasir Little,
Okay, yeah.
but he like isn't even on the team anymore, and he got drafted like 2 years ago. So yeah, they never draft well. They never, but that's kind of to the fault to where like they're a playoff team, so they usually got like a mid 20s pick, but still like they haven't hit like since like McCollum, like they haven't hit in 5 6 years max. I think he's longer than that, like 7 8 years. That was the last time they hit on anybody in the draft, and they've had the verse for the same team. They've had like Nurkic and these guys for a long time now, and it just doesn't work. And I don't know. I think he's just tired of it. Don't blame him. He's been one of the best players in the league for a while with like nothing to show for it. He has nothing. He has no he has no awards. He has no playoff success. It's just he's in the top 75 somehow. That's still a mystery that will never be solved. But uh, he's just I I I don't know. He's just not looking good. I think again, like I think it's possible for him to get it up, like he's good enough. I mean, he's been good for the past few years, but I don't know. It just doesn't look good right now.
Right. He does not look good. He's shooting so poorly, like you mentioned. Like he's shooting like 20-something% from three. Like that's not good. Not good. And like
Especially,
even if he does like, you know, get back up to 30 points a game, I mean, like what's gonna happen? You know, like okay, they maybe make the playoffs and then get swept, or if they make a playing game, they won't get into the playoffs again. I mean, like I don't even see how he's like doing this anymore. Like just go rap. Like
yeah, facts.
just go rap until you can leave Portland and leave Portland.
I don't know. He's kind of in the spot of like a Karl Anthony Towns or somebody like that. Well, like not as bad because they at least make the playoffs, but not really, to be honest. I mean, they do, but they just get beat out in the first, second round every year. So I don't know. He's just not in a good spot at the moment.
Right. But I mean, he's like, I don't think he's washed, but like,
I think that he's more washed than Harden. Like
I
I
agree.
think,
I agree with that. But like, he has no help because even McCollum's like, he's
yeah,
regressed too. Like, he has
yeah,
no.
true,
So it's hard to like, try to play hero ball every game for years.
true. I think he's just getting burnt out.
Yeah.
Uh, that's what I was saying earlier. Like he's just kind of like just upset, and he's like upset with the team and like just getting wore out mentally, physically, because
Yeah.
he knows going into every game that he has to score 30 or they're going to get stomped, and that's just a tough burden to do for so long, especially if you don't want to be there, which he clearly doesn't. He stated that multiple times. He doesn't want to be there anymore.
And how many teams like treat their super like an NBA superstar like that? Like doesn't do anything to help them. Like I mean, my God, like
Yeah, at least the Timberwolves tried. They got to
yeah,
like Russell and they drafted well. Uh,
because Cat and Russell are friends. I mean, like they're
yeah. So is Anthony Edwards.
yeah.
I mean, they had the one pick, so we just got around and mess it up. But I mean, he's good, so they could have picked somebody else, I guess, at the end of the day.
I mean, no, the Timberwolves do stink, but like at least they're
True.
doing. At least they're
They have a better
trying.
record than the Trailblazers
Yeah, I mean,
at the moment. So I don't know. It's just rough.
yeah.
But
Did you see that Karl Anthony Towns quote the other day?
which one?
He said it was like he was talking about like they're on like a 2-game slide, and he goes, "But if I know anything about Minnesota, it could turn into a 16, 17, 18 games." I was like,
Hey,
"What?"
why'd you say that? That's unfortunate. Did
I,
you did you see where he watches shoot, what does he watch before pregame? It's like two gorillas fighting.
oh, I heard about that.
Yeah. Like what a psycho. Yeah, like that's some sus behavior right there. Uh, I don't know. That's rough. For I don't know. I wouldn't say he's quite yet washed. I think if we come back next week and he's still doing this, I'll probably say he's washed because I jump to conclusions a lot. But I don't know. He's just played really bad. But Harden, I don't think Harden will be as bad because he puts up a lot of other numbers.
Yeah,
He's a better player than Lillard, like a basketball player than Lillard. And you can find, I mean, people in the comments can find me on that. I don't care. I mean, Harden's just a better basketball player than Lillard is. I mean, he's smarter. He gets a lot more assists. Just gets more. He's just always in the right spot. And
yeah,
no, he's not a better shooter. That's literally the only thing he has on Harden. And Harden's a good shooter as well. And it's not that big of a difference between him and Lillard. So he's just so many. Harden's just better. And I mean, numbers wise, so you can look at the numbers the past decade. I mean, he's been
so
better as well.
MVP speak for themselves.
Facts. And just numbers, like he averaged like over 32 points per game for like 3 years in a row.
Right.
So, anyways, we can just. I think we're going to talk about fantasy here for like a brief minute. Just a little recap, because this is the third week now of fantasy basketball, and I can share the screen here. Well, give me a second. I'll just cut this out anyway. But I gotta pull this. But Jonathan Taylor had to have look at that. He had to have 45 fantasy points this week.
Jets
Like,
made a comeback.
what?
Jets
Yeah,
made a
facts.
comeback.
Facts.
Mike White got hurt. Austin. You can't hear me.
Unfortunate.
Kendall Jenner's ex-boyfriend. God.
Bro, this is gonna give me a stroke. I literally cannot click on it. What the fuck? Stay up, bro.
That's what she said.
Facts.
Yeah.
What?
He smoked though, Ryan.
Facts. Had a good week. Hell yeah. 2 points now out of the negatives. That boy.
Let's go.
Tyrese Maxey had 46. Stud. Fucking stud.
Or Ben Simmons.
Facts. They gave him point guard. They just now gave him point guard secondary. Even though he starts point guard, makes sense. He only had shooting guard for like the first 2 weeks. Which doesn't make any sense, but
Makes no sense.
okay. I'll pull up the scoreboard. I'll just go. We can just do like just quick.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks.
Yeah. Fucking what the goofy ass. The fuck? I hated that guy, bro. Bro, Miles Bridges, man, he's a stud. He's a unit. Did you win? Yeah. Oh, you're 2-0. Yeah. Anyways, let's switch this back. Okay. So this is just a quick fantasy basketball recap of the Gen S League here. We're in the 3rd week currently, so we're just going to briefly go over the first 2 weeks. And then like the 3rd week's happening right now, so we'll show you the scores for the 3rd week thus far as well. As you can see, I won. Kind of a spoiler. You can see the records, but I did win week 1 against the Muncie Mosers here. It was a tough week. A lot of guys for him kind of went off that probably shouldn't have, like Fournier. And but I mean that's how it works. Fantasy basketball is a weird thing. And I had the guy. I mean, these are the 3 big guys that I like. They did well. That's kind of sus. Now I'm thinking about it, but anyways, I don't know. I mean, there's Sabonis was. I mean, he had a really good first week. He's played well all season, so I did get the win. Noah Gwynn here got the win over Joe Moore, who is with me at Indiana State. He got the win by about 190 here. Miles Bridges having a phenomenal year so far. Alonzo again having a good year. Vucevic got 2 the same team there, and my dad Sweat got the win over Ryan by about 2 something. Anthony Davis played well. Mikael Alexander Walker, interesting one there, but he had a good little first week. Logan Owens here won over Christian Anderson. Durant obviously played well. Levine, nice little team there. Becker just barely squeaking out the win over Jake. Week 1 by 16 points. That's a close one. John Moran and Embiid, Brogdon, good week. LaMelo for Jake played well, so did Jokic. And Luke got the win over Austin, actually. Barely squeaked one out there. You
I
want to
mean,
talk
just
about
look at my top numbers. I mean, my 3rd guy had 91 points.
Yeah, that's a whole week. That's a whole week stat too.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, depth. I'm telling you, how to win you games.
Facts. That's what fantasy basketball is about, man. You gotta have. It's a whole team thing. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Move on to week 2.
win. No matter how. Win's a win.
Facts. Yeah, first two matchups here. Kind of a lot. First three matchups actually here. A few landslide victories here. Uh, I beat Ryan by about 600, and again, Valanciunas is a really underrated player this year as well. Uh, he's averaging about 19 and 10 for New Orleans this year. Really good in fantasy. Gets a couple blocks. Westbrook had a good week about time, and Sabonis again had a good week two as well. My dad again beating Noah's team by about 350 probably. Anthony that Mo Bamba, what the LOL. Mo Bamba there. Miles Bridges and Kelly Oubre there for Noah had a good weeks. And then Mosier beating Joe by about 800, give or take. So
Tough
uh,
scene.
tough. Dejounte Murray having a good year. Harold as well having a good year. Namely, dang. Whew, son, Logan squeaked one out by about 5 points. God, that's a tough one to lose there. Squeaked it out by about 5 points from Beckery. Durant, Jakob Poeltl, LO.
Never, I'd never have him on my
Will
team
never
ever.
draft Jakob Poeltl ever. And Kyle Lowry. Damn, that's a close one. Austin beat Christian by about 200. Scotty Barnes, like I said earlier, having a good year. Tatum, Paul George, always good picks. Tyler Hero here for Christian, top performers. And then Jake losing to you by about 130, 130 exact actually. And dang, Jimmy Butler had 240 that week. What a week for Jimmy
And
Butler.
Jokic had over 200. I'm telling you, man, depth. That's the way to go.
It is. I mean,
You
I didn't have that many high pointers as well. I mean, I did, but I didn't. I didn't have like a 240 like he did. He had like a 240.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
I'm telling you, it's not one on the, you know, Lucas and the Giannis's. It's one on the Marcus Smarts and the Norman Powells and the.
facts.
I mean,
We
Miles
talk,
Turner. He's one of my top scorers. He
yeah,
wasn't one of the top picks, but he's my top scorer. One of my top
facts.
scorers.
Yeah, I got Valanciunas in the 10th round.
Let's go.
So good. Then now we can move on to this week. Currently, it's currently, well, I guess Friday now. It's 12:07 in the morning on Friday. So,
Yeah, no big deal. We're just recording this late. No big deal.
but I'm currently in a close battle with my dad here. Uh, it'll probably be closer at the end of the night because I have more players playing than him today. I have four. I currently have four people playing, and he only has one, and Anthony Davis, and I have Christian Wood and Jalen Green and Westbrook and Kent Bazemore all playing right now. So it'll probably be close to even at the end of the night. But it's close. It's close. It'll be a close one. I mean, me and him are both undefeated going into this week, and one of us will not be at the end of the week. And then Noah and Mosier here are in a pretty close battle, about 70, 80 points lead by Noah. Again, Miles Bridges having a phenomenal year again. Drummond actually, wow, interesting there. High points there. And Lillard again, big wash boy. This is the first time Lillard's been in his top three since the beginning. So that's a notable thing as well. And then looks like Ryan is beating Joe by about 200 or so. Uh, Jared Allen, again, that was one of my sleeper guys. I think he's having a good year in Cleveland so far. And then looks like Austin is winning against Logan by about 50.
Mm-hmm.
Paul George having a good week. Chris Paul as well. And looks like Beckery's ahead of you slightly by about 40, looks like right now.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Miles Turner had a phenomenal game last night against the Knicks. Had like 7 threes, like 4 blocks. And then he's got a interesting little team here. He's got OG Anunoby had a good week. Morant, obviously, having a outstanding season so far. One of the best players in the league so far this year. And then looks like Jake is beating Christian by about 200. And then Jokic, this top three's been phenomenal all year. DeRozan's been one of the better players in the league as well, averaging close to 27 this year. And then Lonzo about close. LaMelo, just a good player, obviously. It's just a stat pattern. So, but Caruso here making an appearance on the top three here.
On the GOAT squad. But hopefully they could squeeze out a week win this week. He's got Booker playing right now, so that's how he's taking the edge over me. Because we were close coming into it, like within like 10, 20 points or something. So hopefully I get more players playing tomorrow and they put up big numbers for me so I can get 3-0 or get working towards 3-0. But
yeah,
it's definitely still close. So
yeah, it's same for me in a sense. I mean, it's going to be essentially tied tonight. I can just pull up a matchup here. This is just like how you can on like ESPN here, how you can like see matchups. And like I said earlier, I have 4 people actually. I have 3 people in the game. That means orange means that they're highlighted. That means they're in the game currently. And so I have 4 playing. Anyone has 1 at the moment. So hopefully it'll be about tied or close when the night's over. So always good. But that was just a fantasy recap so far this season. So we'll keep you guys again posted on like it during the season. I just every episode we'll probably just do a brief breakdown of where everybody's at again. But moving on, the NBA released the city jerseys for every team. It's not like the earned jerseys where only the playoff team gets them. These are the city, so everybody got a shot at these, and some teams shouldn't have got a shot at these because they were bad. But we're just gonna review some of these real quick and share our personal favorites and the ones that we think are bad. I don't think there's a point of saying like in between, like average. I mean that's just average, but just kind of some standouts and some in the opposite end of the spectrums here. So you can go ahead. I can say mine.
Okay, I don't know how you 100% want to do this, but I thought I'd just run through a couple that I liked and didn't like, and then probably pick which one I'd like to buy.
Yeah,
probably.
That works for me. That works for me.
A couple things I want to touch on: Utah, Boston, Phoenix, and New Orleans. We're just lazy. Just lazy. You've either seen these jerseys or something just slightly different than these before. Like this is like you have a project due at 11:59. It's 11 o'clock. You're like, I got to turn something in.
Exactly.
So, not even that they're bad. Like the Suns jersey is obviously a really good jersey, but like just lazy. Memphis always comes through. Like this is it's even a simple look, but it's always so clean. I don't know what it is. Memphis, if they played basketball half as good as they made jerseys, it'd be the Patriots of the NBA. It'd be nuts.
Thanks.
Miami, that's just pitiful. I mean, that could be in a kindergarten classroom. That's no cap. And then I'm not gonna steal all these from you because I know there's something you want to talk about. Some of my favorites. I love Atlanta's. Love the Clippers too. I'm a Kings guy, and I like the Kings one. It got a lot of hate because it's a sack town on it, but like I've heard like I follow Sacramento pages. Like you hear Sacktown all the time. Like I don't know what the big deal was. But I think excluding a Kings one because I'm a Kings guy. If I were gonna buy one of these, It's between probably four. It's between probably Detroit, Atlanta, San Antonio, and the Clippers. I love the Clippers colors, but I mean, it's not necessarily a great jersey, but I love the colors. Detroit's is simple. They didn't mess it up. That's all you can ask for them. But man, Atlanta's is so nice. I don't think I'd look good in it, so I probably wouldn't get it. So I'd probably get the Clippers one. But man, like a lot of these overall, they did their thing. Teams did their thing on most of these.
True. I agree. Well, uh, I agree with the ones that you say are like bad. I guess like Miami, man, I don't know what they were thinking with that. I mean, I get the
They could
idea.
they weren't thinking. They couldn't.
Yeah, like I understand the idea they were going with. Like they were like they drew something from like every jersey or whatever, like from the past. That's
But
I mean that
with like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they got clowned for it. Did Miami not think about that? Like,
yeah, like it's not like the worst concept on paper, but then you put it on the jersey and it looks so bad. And they've had a reputation. I mean, they've had the best jerseys in the league, in my opinion, for the past couple years. Their vice concepts and stuff were just so good. They look so good, and they were at the top of the game, and now they're almost at the bottom, if not the bottom, this year. So it's a fall from grace. And those, I don't like the Celtics jerseys either. Those are terrible. It's just plain. And I don't like on the back. You can't see on the back like the names like underneath the letter. I mean,
oh,
the underneath the number. I mean,
oh,
it looks
oh,
terrible. It's such a bad concept. And then like you said, like Utah and Phoenix, and then just didn't change anything. So,
yeah,
but I like the Phoenix jersey though. I have a shirt of that.
yeah.
But those are the only ones I think are like terrible. Like just like the Celtics and the Heat. I think all the other ones are passable. Uh, but those are just terrible. I just don't like either of those at all. But the ones I think are the best, I love the Spurs. I love the colorway is amazing. The Fiesta colorway is
I kind of
amazing.
wish it was like the colors were switched though. I kind of wish it was like that, either
Like
that
the teal.
teal or the orange or whatever instead of the white. But
Yeah,
still a great look. The
yeah.
Fiesta.
And then obviously the Memphis ones are just clean. Attention to detail. There's like scratches on the letters as well, like Grizzly scratches or whatever. Attention to
So
detail.
that's so
I
sick.
like the outlining as well of the sleeves, and those that's probably my main one. Those two are like the main ones. I also like the Houston ones. I love those old school, the like the Yao Ming type jerseys. I
Yeah.
like those a lot. And I like the Dallas ones a lot. I love that old school look. I loved them when it was like that was like the Jamal Mashburn area back in like the late 90s. It has like the cowboy hat on the D there. It's pretty nice. I like that look. I like the colors. But if I had to buy one, I also like the Magic. That's the last one I'll talk about. I like the Magic.
I forgot to talk about it. I really like the Magic too.
Yeah, I like the orange, the
Makes no
star.
sense to say it's because of orange, Florida orange. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
but I like they've always incorporated the star very well, or like in their jerseys as well. But again, if I had to buy one, uh, dang, it's a tough one. Uh, dang, I gotta think about it. I would I would probably go like the Luca Dallas jersey,
Good one.
or like a John Morant Memphis one probably.
That would be sick.
Yeah, those are
I was just thinking about it. I picked the Clippers, but I don't even. To be honest, I wouldn't want anybody.
well, I mean, I'd love Paul George. Paul George is my man. I love Paul George, man.
Who would I go for then? I gotta change mine. I can't buy a jersey somebody I don't care about. Trey
But
Young Atlanta is just where my mind's going right now. That's just such a sick jersey.
yeah, get like a shoot. Trying to think of somebody weird on the get like a Gallinari Hawks jersey.
Get Cam Reddish. That'd be fun.
Yeah, freaking shoot, Kevin Herter. There you
Dude, low key, Jonathan Isaac Magic jersey would be nasty.
go. Facts. Freaking Cole Anthony. Nasty.
That's probably what I would do, Cole Anthony.
Yeah, he's having a really good year.
Yeah.
But
I'd either do that or try to get in on Cade Cunningham early and get the Detroit Cade Cunningham.
true. I don't know. Like a Keldon Johnson Spurs jersey.
Oh, that's big. I think final answer. I think I'm gonna say that he's hurt. I don't want to pick. You know, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Jonathan Isaac Magic.
Yeah, I like that. I guess I'll do like a definitive answer. I guess. Dang. It's tough. I like a lot of these jerseys. There's a lot of them that I didn't say either that I like, or like
Yeah,
that I would wear. To be honest,
yeah.
like the Toronto one, I love that. I
I
like
feel
that.
like the Toronto one, like we've seen a lot of. It's
Yeah,
it's a variation. Like they're just combining like with
yeah.
most stuff.
I just like it though. I've always liked that. Mm,
Bucks need to bring that deer back.
yeah, I love that.
So sick.
Dang. I'll go. Yeah,
I don't hate the Lakers jerseys. I wouldn't wear it, but I don't
yeah.
hate it.
I don't hate it either. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll go. Dang. Yeah, yeah. I'll go. Keldon Johnson Spurs.
It's a good one.
I like that. Or like Deontay Murray. I guess he's pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as a whole, I think this was a home run.
Yeah, all these as a whole, these jerseys are good.
Even like the worst ones, to me, I mean, they're bad, but they're not like horrible.
They're not the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, like I think like the whole bottom row, except like Miami, are like solid. I like most of
Yeah.
those jerseys.
I don't like Charlotte's at all. Actually, I don't like Charlotte's at all.
It's
Too much.
I think it's like okay, like it's middle of the pack. But like those Nets jerseys are clean. The Warriors ones are clean.
Nets
Uh,
jerseys are really nice.
yeah. Uh, the New York ones are clean.
A lot of people love the New York ones, and I think it's a good one. Like, I think it's definitely like top half, but I don't think it's like people are saying like it's one of the best ones, and I just don't get it.
No, I don't get that. It's just it's too basic to be the best one of the best ones in my opinion. Like there's no design on it or anything. It's just like black and orange. Like
If
there's
Shea
no
wasn't in the room when OKC was making theirs, that's a crime. That man is all fashion.
true. He's got through it.
Like he goes to fashion shows. Like if he like I think he's legit. Like this isn't Cap. This isn't. I legit think he's sponsored by Louis Vuitton. Like I think that's a fact.
He probably is. He's
Like
he's definitely a fashion mogul, or he wants to be, if nothing else. Also, I want to point out that if you took Clippers off of the Clippers jerseys and you put Oklahoma City, it would be their jersey. You could definitely pass that. Like if the Clippers were off of that jersey, that's a Oklahoma City jersey.
I would believe that's the jersey now. Like I would believe that.
Yeah, like it's the exact colors that the Thunder have. That's their exact colorway.
If that's what it was. Because I mean the blue's a little is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I would get a shade of that 100%. That would be my answer.
100%.
Yeah.
But
Because I mean, obviously, I could say De'Aaron Fox, Sacktown, but I mean, that wouldn't take much thought. That'd be like you saying Sabonis of this, you know. I mean, like
yeah,
or Chris Duarte. I mean, like that doesn't take much,
that's
outside the box thinking.
probably actually going to happen.
Yeah,
The Duarte City one will probably, but I think the Pacers are dropping like a '70s jersey, which are going to be so clean. I cannot wait until they drop that because their '70s jerseys were clean. I'll pull them up actually, but like if they do it like with their letters, I think it'll look so dope. Pacers,
gold blooded.
24K grit, bro. Don't sleep, man.
Oh,
Like
sleep.
like not those. Those are like their '90s jerseys. Uh, like these, yeah, like with the line and stuff.
I don't know.
It'd be interesting. I just want to see what they do with it.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how that turns out.
But
I want the Kings to bring back those like tan looking jerseys. I thought those were so sick, or like the checkered ones.
yeah. But yeah, again, as a whole, I think this is a good content drop
Yeah,
by the league as a whole.
got everybody talking about it at least.
True. The NBA is definitely like at the top in terms of like,
I I wish so bad the NFL did this.
yeah,
So
they're at the top in terms of like merchandise involvement and like creativity and stuff like that. We're always making
there's
new jerseys.
there's no reason the MLB shouldn't do this because they play 700,000 games a year.
True, they've been
There's,
getting better. They've tried like they did like nickname jerseys that kind of flopped, but like they are at least trying.
yeah,
Uh,
they did those like they did a couple like jerseys. I saw that
yeah,
like
they
for
did.
the
Mm,
Diamondbacks had one. That was a good way to spend some money.
yeah, there was I think they were called city jerseys or like represent jerseys or something. I don't know, something like that.
Something like, but
But
could you imagine like these types of concepts for like a Bengals jersey or like I mean like 'cause some of it are like a Seahawks jersey, like some teams that have like these dynamic colors and stuff.
yeah,
Like
100%.
Minnesota, I feel like would have a great one.
Oh, that purple. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
purple and that gold.
Yeah, and like the Rams.
Oh
And
my,
yeah,
Chargers would just go up with what they have.
yeah, true. I don't know. I don't know. I do think a lot of sports, like all sports, should do this, but
I agree.
the NBA is definitely pioneers
Yeah,
in a sense of like
it's one thing.
fashion.
No matter what you feel about the NBA, that's something you have to give them flowers for. Like, 'cause this every year is always a big like it's a thing. Like when they drop, like it's a thing.
Yeah,
So
everybody's talking about it. So, and let us know which one you would buy in the comments, as always. Uh,
and I'll do this. I'll do this. Sweeping declaration. If this video gets 25 likes, I'll buy the John. Who did I say? Jonathan Isaac.
yeah,
I'll buy the Jonathan Isaac Magic jersey. This video gets 25 likes. I will buy it. It's a fact. Come correct.
okay, okay. Uh, I feel like I'm obligated,
You don't have to.
so I will though. Uh, I'll go 30
If
because,
they, how about we do 25 and we each do jerseys if they come out with jerseys of these.
yep, I'll do that.
Deal.
Okay, you heard it. Heard it here first. PSA from the two of us. 25 likes, jerseys if they come out. I'll probably get it. I'm probably getting a jersey anyway. A Pacers jersey eventually down the road this year, but I'll get another one. I need some more for the collection anyway.
Right.
So, because I'm getting into jerseys more so now.
Me too.
I just think they look dope,
Hmm.
especially NBA jerseys. And
And with it being cold outside, jersey over the hoodie.
over the
Great.
hoodie, it's the move, man.
This is
Always the
not a
move.
fashion podcast, but it is.
It is though.
It's not, but it is.
Yeah. Again, let us know what you would get. Like if you would get a PJ Tucker Miami jersey, or like a or a or like a I'm trying to think of a Celtics player. Shoot,
Bobby Wood.
Like a Romeo
Bobby.
Langford Celtics jersey, or
Everybody that listens to this podcast will buy that.
facts. That's true. I just thought about that. That's a bad example, but again, let us know. Always curious to see what you guys are thinking. But I think that'll probably wrap this one up for the NBA episode. Be sure to like and comment, subscribe, all,
Share all that.
all that. Noting bell. You know the deal. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Peace.